Okay, so I'm making this video for a wonderful client of mine that I saw virtually on Zoom today because she's having lateral hip pain. So I think she's got a little bit of bursitis. So I decided when I made her exercises today that I would do it and just make it and share it because I know that this is a problem that a lot of people have. So some real soreness along the outside of the hip, kind of right in here. Feels better when she ices it, but with certain exercises, it's just aggravating. So we found some movements today that are gonna make it feel better. So I wanted to share it with everybody because I know that this is a pretty common thing. So number one, on your stairs, what we're gonna do is so pretend these are stairs. These are some pretty fancy stairs, but you got something to hang on to, okay? And you're gonna go up to probably the second stair, maybe the third stair. But you're just gonna go forward and back like this, and we're gonna try to get a nice stretch through the front of this hip. We're gonna do both sides, okay? And so the things that I want you to remember on this one is the foot that's down on the ground, we want that to be facing forward. We don't want it to be all turned out. So we're just gonna go forward and back 5 or 10 times, something like that, okay? Next, we're gonna circle those hips around. Now, if you're having hip pain, okay, on either side with this, if it's along the lateral side, you just shorten up the circles a little bit, make them smaller, okay? This is a really important motion to get because the hip is a ball and socket joint and we want that rotation to be happening in there. We're gonna go both directions. Just don't feel like you have to really overdo it. A little bit goes a long way with these things. So it's that kind of circular motion in the ball and socket. So 5 or 10 times in one direction, 5 or 10 times in the other direction. We're gonna do both sides, okay? So again, if you're feeling pain when you do this, just get up nice and tall, okay? Control it, just go as far forward as you can where you're just feeling a nice motion, a nice stretch, but without the pain. So we're gonna go forward and back 5 or 10 times. Then we're gonna circle that around and we'll circle in both directions. Okay, again, maybe 5 or 10 times. So the next thing that I want you to do, and again, this is for that lateral hip pain that so many people end up getting. A little bit of bursitis is I think what we're dealing with here. So you're gonna so this is up on the stairs, you're gonna turn sideways now. Then you're gonna open up and you're just gonna get into this motion a little bit. Now, if it's this hip that's hurting, this lateral hip, going too far won't feel good, okay? But just getting here, just small little motions like this. Again, this seems like, well, what would that be doing? It's doing a lot, okay? It's getting motion in the joint, it's getting synovial fluid mixed up in there, you're weight bearing in a way that's not hurting, and you're opening up these muscles here that get really tight. So we'll just go forward and back to the point of not discomfort here. A lot of people feel some pinching here. So you want to just stay up again, nice and tall, just get into it so you feel a stretch either on this inner thigh or this inner thigh. Again, 5 or 10 times. Same thing, turn this way, get right into that. Be careful of any pinching or discomfort here on this hip. Just control it. Again, I'm going to say it again because I'm a broken record. Stand up as tall as you can. If you're all crunched down and you're doing this, it's not going to do the same thing. Okay? Now, the next thing that we're going to focus on for that lateral hip pain is I see a lot of people, and one thing that I saw in this lovely lady today was that her hips kind of stay rotated over to one side. So the whole time I'm talking to her, I could see that this hip was pulled back. So we're really going to focus on turning equally to both sides. And one way that you can tell that is you put your hands on your hips and you just kind of see, well, that elbow is only getting this far and this elbow is getting way over there. So you want to try to even those out, okay? So if you're having pain along the left side of the hip, you want to turn a little bit more to the right because it's probably not turning much to the right, okay? So you want to emphasize the turning away from that sore hip, all right? And we're going to do that again with one foot forward. Same thing. It's like if you have a flashlight in your belly button, we want that flashlight to be turning, shining around the room. That's an example I use a lot with my clients because so many times I want someone's hips to move, but they're locked in place and it's coming from somewhere else. That's not where we need it. We need it to come, this pelvis needs to be rotating side to side like that, okay? And then the other move that we want to emphasize here is that if we go off to the side like this and that pinches in there, you're just going to go smaller steps. Okay, I do want you to start opening up a little bit, but with control, with a nice tall posture. So we're going to work on a little forward step, a little sideways step, and a little open step, but nice and tall. And we're going to do that on both sides. Okay, forward, to the side, and open. All right, so one thing that people are getting a lot more comfortable with this whole COVID-19 and not being able to get body work and not being able to get in for lots of different appointments that people do, going to the gym, is that these virtual sessions, they work really well. So after a few minutes, we worked together for 30 minutes, my client and I today, on the Zoom, and she was amazed at how much better she felt after. I know she was a little skeptical about it in the beginning, whether it was going to help if I couldn't get my hands on her, but 9 times out of 10, we just have to look at how you're moving. We know the patterns that are common to make this hurt or this hurt or this hurt, and we can really help you work through it. So that's it for today. Everybody have a great weekend.